Welcome in, everyone, to our coverage of the Sports Car Challenge. We're going to Belle Isle tonight, but before that, we're going to watch the last 10 minutes of our feature race from 2 weeks ago at Summit Point. Enjoy, and we'll see you in about 10 minutes.
And here's Houston trying still to make the run. Both of them, I mean, they're still sniffing the slipstream here. Going into turn one.
Yeah, I want to get more drivers on involved in this stream because it's such a fun one to watch, but we're under 10 laps to go. Charley, let's call you in here one final time. We'll see what else is going on in Twitchland.
Gecko with the 25 bits and the most specific prediction we've had to date. Are you guys ready for this?
Okay.
Kingsbury for a top 5, Rawls to lose connection due to mechanical issues, and Schofield for the win. So he's almost got this Schofield prediction dialed in. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as we head to the last 5 laps, guys.
Internet predictions are always a fun one to make. But of course, these guys battling very hard. This is a look at Kingsbury that we just saw involved in that prediction, fighting real hard to get past Brian San. Holding on in that black, teal, and orange Penguin RC car. Of course, San, one of the, I believe, owners possibly of Penguin RC. He's definitely involved in the sponsorship of the series. I know that, to say the least, and we appreciate all the work that he does to help put this show on, providing some great prizes for the winners, and definitely going to be fun to watch him perform the rest of this race and throughout the rest of the season as well. He's currently running in 12th position with Kingsbury right behind, having a move up towards the front of the field for the 5th position, side by side in turn number 1, Busch and Fanning, and Busch gets done on exit. Those two have been fighting for a couple of laps now, and finally those two guys started 1-2. They dropped pretty far back and now just clawing their way up and still fighting through it. So Busch now to the 5th position. Definitely fun there. And this is the next group of cars right behind them. That car in front, of course, is Wellwood in that blue BMW, letting that was Moss and Janney get by. Janney, of course, he was pretty far back. He was about, I believe, 14th or so earlier. Almost some contact there. Janney doing everything he can to keep the car under control. He is now up to the 8th position as we come to 6 laps to go. Currently working lap number 28 out of 34. Houston looking around the outside of Schofield in turn number 1 and can't do it. That's the same move that Challenger made to get by him. Unfortunately, didn't have the lap car as a pick and couldn't get clear in time. But Schofield just doing everything he can to hold on to that second step of the podium.
Yeah, he is there. As we're looking back at David Busch, this is the battle for 5th still. Kevin Fanning looking to the inside. Not going to try a move there wisely, I guess.
Yeah, way too far back to get a move done.
Yeah, I mean, even if you could be right on the inside, and I think you said there, maybe almost side by side there with that Houston and Schofield.
Yeah, they've been fighting. We've seen it every single lap. But this is the battle for the AM win between Busch and Fanning. They are fighting very hard to get that move done. Schofield off in the grass or in the gravel in turn number 10, but keeps the car under control. But Houston going to look to the outside in turn number 1 once again. He has to have him here because we've seen him so late on the brakes. No, wow.
Oh, no, man.
Can he get the run off the corner? No.
Yeah,
oh my. Who's got the momentum here? The next corner is going to be a left-hander, but it's a very quick one there, and it's going to be Houston getting up into 2nd position. Schofield, by the way, the battle there between those two guys. Last lap, Schofield ran a 109.6, 109.5 for Houston. Meanwhile, Christian Chandler, 108.7. And Josh Collard right there as well, 108.6, so he's catching up. That just shows Schofield was holding up Peter Houston by a considerable amount. He might have burned off his tires defending so hard early in the race. Clog's going to have a shot to the podium here as the laps start to trickle down.
Indeed he is now. Now we're looking still at David Busch. I mean, he's about 12 seconds ahead of him to Clog. About, I don't know, 2 seconds back to Janney. Let's talk about Janney for a second, making an incredible comeback here sniffing a top 5 maybe. You see him right behind Fanning there. There he is. What an incredible comeback for our points leader here. Just trying his best to salvage anything he can, basically anything he can get from Challenger.
He worked his way up a couple of spots on the start, and then, of course, we talked about getting into the gravel at turn number 10, spinning across the track. No collisions for the car, just spun it out himself, lost a ton of time and a lot of ground. Worked his way back up to the 7th position where he started. Just such an incredible run for Michael Janney. We thought that this was going to be a great result for Christian Challenger, but Janney doing everything he can to have the points gain be as little as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Now we're looking still at. We're still looking at him. Obviously, never went away from him. As you see him getting very loose. We talked about that earlier about that super wiggly, smiggly thing going into the two hairpins there. Just maybe trying to scrub off speed, maybe trying to gain speed. Who knows? We see it now.
3.5 seconds at the line was the gap last time by. This time by the stripe. As we see Houston crossing it now, it goes to 4.0. So Christian picking up another half a second there on the advantage over Peter Houston. And he's still under pressure from Schofield and Clog right there as well. These guys battling and battling and battling. It's just, it's not a war of attrition because, they're keeping things nice, clean, and orderly, but it's just an all-out war out there right now.
Yeah, and I'm just double-checking some math real quick. If Janney wants to hold on to the points lead, I think he'd have to finish. He finished second. If he finished second in the sprint, he has to finish second to hold on to the points lead. So in most scenarios right now, I'd say it's safe to say Challenger's coming away with points here.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about not having a drop week for these guys. I know that Challenger would still probably have that points lead either way coming out of this one if we did have a drop week, but it just makes it all the more impressive even with him not starting the last event.
Yeah, let's find out real quick. Look at how dark it's getting. I don't know what the in-game time is right now, Chad, if you can pull that up. And let's also talk about, I think we're also within 3 to 2 laps to go. Chad, you want to check that too?
Yep, currently working lap number 32 out of 34. Christian Challenger at the line. Yeah, Christian Challenger last time at the line has the fastest lap both of the race. Not on his last lap, of course. It's pretty late on tires to be doing that. But he has the fastest lap of the race at 108.175. And his last lap was the fastest on track as well at 108.551. So using the clean track to his advantage, as the guys behind him, Houston, Schofield, and Clog, all battling between each other, just trying to make up as much time as they can and try to get as many positions as they can. Josh Clog, by the way, made up 0.3 of a second on Schofield last time by. Working the way through the final.
Look at how much dirty's in there. I think, speaking of Clog, he's going to go for the position here, get into P3, take that podium. You go, sir.
Schofield worked so hard to hold on, using the inversion to his advantage. He started third, first half of the race or so. Once he lost that first position, though, it's been all downhill for slowly slipping. And Clog, Peter Houston. The pit one. This is pretty far back. Oh, off. Just
a lap here presented by somebody.
This is the white flag of the RK Designs Grand Prix here from Summit Point, West Virginia. Christian Challenger using these country roads to take him and the trophy back home to England.
Out in Mama, and there they go to the inside. That's Michael Janney there.
Janney up to 6th and now trying to get 5th. Does he get the spot side by side on the... But it doesn't look... Oh, he's still there, though. You can't go too wide here.
They are going.
Oh, wow. Yeah, just lifting just enough. There was Bush. Right just the absolute cojones to make that move at the end of the race. Yeah. The fortitude of Michael Janney to keep his foot in it. Bush letting out, and as we come around the final corner, Christian Challenger through turn number 10, down the hill and across the stripe. And he takes victory at the RK Designs Grand Prix. And it looks like our blip losing control just a little bit. But Peter Houston takes second, Josh Clogg third. Schofield gonna take the fourth spot. The battle between Janie and Bush is pretty much done. Janie's gonna get that, followed by Bush, then Kevin Fanning takes home the seventh spot. Eighth is Harley Moss. Seth Rawls then.
Coming to you from Detroit, Michigan, at the Matco 2's Motor City Mayhem is the Nitro Circus Sports Car Challenge, hosted by NASA. I got that wrong. That's right. I'm Michael Barry, and right now I'm flying solo. I'm waiting on Josh Mertz to get back from a bit of a rough traffic day. But I'll be your voice here for at least a sprint. So I don't know. Let's start taking a look at it. Where drivers have just finished qualifying now. And we're about to start griddings for a 15-minute sprint race and a 45-minute feature around this track in Belle, Detroit. Belle, Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, you can see that pan and shot right there. Not quite cars yet, but we'll give it some time. He's right there. We got some quick facts about the track. Belle Isle, obviously in the beautiful state of Michigan. I believe it's. Hold on, pull it up. We're only the most prepared people here. Nobody's ever unprepared. So it's the raceway at Belle Isle. It is a obviously you probably know it from IMSA and from IndyCar. Sorry guys, I kind of got put into this on the spot, but we're okay. It's a 2.35 mile asphalt / concrete circuit, 14 turns. The lap record is 1 minute 14.20 by Joseph Newgarden in IndyCar. I don't think we're going to be getting too close right now, as we're actually pulling off now to start. There's the pace car. I didn't even go through this thing while I got through this out. And the green flag is out. And it looks like, is that Michael Janney right there going into turn 1? He's got the 21. I believe that's one of the Kingsbury brothers going as they come through single file. All the 5 cars back, 6 cars back. Everybody holding tight. And here comes Josh Mertz. We'll hold on for a second while he's going to take some time to get into here. But here we go into turn 3 now. Oh, the 3 McLarens right there. We don't have the time and the scoring up yet. Hopefully our producer can get that going. There it is now. Janney, Clogg, and Kingsbury. It's actually Kingsbury ahead of Clogg. Clogg trying to make an attack here, but we're watching Michael Janney as it comes through turn 5. And coming through turn 6 now, onto the backstretch. Now we're looking back. Is that the, where is that? That's one, I think it might be 191 of Marwan Mofta. No? Yeah, we're looking back the field. There you can see a bunch of the Ferraris, a couple of BMWs, and there you is 67 right there of Tim Brokaw making a move on his teammate Steve Blaine. Ooh, looks like a little bit of a block there. Can't exactly tell who they're going up against. There's a 67. Is that the 70? That's the 157 of Christian Ost right behind the 2 of them. They come through the little quote-unquote arena section. One of the best corners right here. Good overtaking spot. You're going to keep an eye out for that now as we're... Oh, one notable absence, I think, is, if I'm not wrong, Christian Challoner's not racing tonight. So we didn't point that out, so that's going to be big on the points. We see Michael Janney leads lap 1. He's got about a 1.6 second lead on, is that Ray or Matt? I believe that's Matt. No, that's right. That's right. That's Matt Kingsbury. Okay, I stand corrected as my producer does. Now we see him coming down the straightaway here. Great zone in IndyCar for overtakes. Very exciting. Into turn 3 now. Just now we're looking back at the battle for second. There's Matt Kingsbury holding off a decent charge from Josh Clogg. Josh Clogg, no slouch in these cars. I mean, he was second or third in points last season in GT Pro. Obviously that was GTE. This is GT3. But that that McLaren looking very strong right now. We're waiting for Josh Mertz to maybe jump in and give me a break here, if possible. And we're still waiting on it, but right now we're looking at the 07. That's Daniel Munoz, very fast driver, very aggressive in that Audi. He served a 1 race ban last week at Summit, or 2 weeks ago at Summit Point. So now he's back, maybe with a newfound appreciation for the rules. Maybe looking to just come back and prove, hey, I'm a changed man. Who knows as they come for the final That's the second to last corner right there. I don't think it's any corner names on this track. I could be wrong. There we go. Jenny again, completing the lap. And there we go, into turn 1 now. Let's talk for a minute. I guess we didn't really get a chance to do it during the pre-show because we didn't really have much of a pre-show now as we look back at the 73. No, it's the 13 of Moss. Sorry. And that's the from here. That's the teammate car to Munoz. I didn't know that. Very looking to the inside. Ooh, not quite. Yeah, a bit of a Matco tool sandwich right there. Probably not. And now we see, just a kind of a gaggle of Ferraris right there, surrounded by the Audi. Yeah, I mean, let's take a quick talk for a second about the point standings because we didn't really get a chance to. If we could pull that up now. Yeah, there you see Christian Challenger, obviously not here tonight, in the points lead. Michael Janney in second. David Bush third with a huge gap behind him. And basically, it's a 2-horse race right now. And honestly, Janney's looking to make it a 1-horse race at this point. See Josh Clogg, Peter Houston, Kevin Fanning, Ray Kingsbury, all within a 4-point blanket. Dan Munoz just barely behind them, and then Kieran Forrest and Seth Rawls. I mean, it is a super tight thing. And that's only in the quote unquote overall. And if we look to the AM Championship, I think it gets even more interesting. Yeah, there you go. David Bush, 107 points. Kevin Fanning and Kieran Forrest only 10 points. Less than 10 points back. Seth Rawls, 13. Taylor Carroll, 27. Brian Stone, 31. Brokaw, Marwa Mafta, Steve Lane, and Brandon Lambert rounding out your top 10. So definitely some interesting points battles tonight. And note the absence of some drivers, such as Challenger. We're definitely going to see a bit of a shakeup in these points.
Real quick jump in. Oh, sorry about that, Josh. I just want to jump in and give an update on that. A couple drivers, including Kieran Forrest and Christian Challenger, they had a technical issue at the start and were disconnected. So unfortunately, we're unable to grid for the sprint. We'll keep an eye on that and get back to you with any updates.
Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. I have just got home with pizza, and I haven't eaten, so I've been taking some time the last 2 minutes of doing that. Christian Challenger has reconnected to the session, which is nice, but Michael Janney out front here in Belle Isle in Detroit. I was like 2 feet away from this track, and I was a week early for the IndyCar race, and it really made me mad. But the Fiercely Forward boys are out front, 1-2 ahead of Matt Kingsbury for Dirt Esport. Daniel Munoz in 4th. 5th is Ray Kingsbury. So, hello, Mike. And the Fiercely Forward Spark boys first. Or am I blind?
First, no, 1-2 right now.
First, second, and 5th, it looks like.
Yeah, now you see them coming down that front stretch. A little bit of a kink there. Very tough to get right, but when you do, it does feel good. And then into this, what I like to call probably the most fearless corner in street course racing. I mean, it's so fast, it's so tight, man. You just gotta know when to get it right.
We saw the Corvette pace car for one of the IndyCar races, I think. The guy crashed it in the second corner there. So the way that corner is, it's the right-hand corner, then it's a left, but it kind of crests, and the car gets light over that crest, and I obviously have seen cars end up in the fence. Speaking of in the fence, I was taking a look through the field. Steve Lane has put the car in the fence, so he will be, looks like, out of the sprint race early on here.
Had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we shall prevail. It's all good. You guys didn't see that. We're looking right now at the battle between Kingsbury and Munoz. Munoz had a really decent run through there, and look at how much deeper he brakes than Kingsbury. That's super interesting now.
And Daniel Munoz, who missed the race 2 weeks ago in Summit Point after being penalized and banned for that event, he's down in points, and we know how quick he is. We saw him in Brands Hatch a couple weeks ago, and on the back foot in the sequential Sim Sport Audi.
Yeah, and you see Michael Janney there kind of checking out from the rest of the field. There's Josh Clogg. That's the corner Janney just went through. So yeah, you can see him right in the distance, just crossing the line right about now. And now we look back at that battle for third. Yeah, that's Munoz and Kingsbury. Ooh, I think he might get a run down here going into turn 3. Great passing opportunity I mentioned before. Not quite close enough from this camera angle. There, yeah, he's got a little bit more work to do there, Josh.
Exiting Central Avenue, turn 4 the right-hander onto Lauder Way. We're going to head to turn 5 the left-hander, and then we go to the back straightaway, Strand Drive here in Detroit, Michigan. Literally a stone's throw from the Canadian border, and it's great to see some street course racing. For the Penguin RC Simulations NASA Sports Car Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. I know I'm a little late. Josh Mertz, Mike Barry, Victor Vallee, Charley Daniels, bringing you the call for Nitro Circus Twitch. Victor Vallee didn't upgrade the graphic. I can be Q-cast for a night. That is okay. As we take a look at the battle here, Mike, for third between Matt Kingsbury and Daniel Munoz. The fiercely forward LLM cars 1-2, and Ray Kingsbury, their team car. Yes, Ray, I got it right. Their team car sits in fifth. Yeah,
that's real great to see there. Kingsbury trying to make a decent charge. Oh, we're looking back right there. That's the 27, the Schofield. And they pushed the 2 Lamborghinis into field. There you got the 125 of Seth Rawls sitting second.
He got it on the outside on Busch there. What a move. As Rawls in the Mercedes, and then Brian Sohn in a Ferrari. As Brokaw battling with Christian Oss, they're in the back of the field, 13th and 14th. As it doesn't look like there's too big of a field here tonight. It's interesting. 18 cars, as I'm getting that word from Victor Vallee. Looks like we had a couple cars taken out early on while I was stuffing my face.
Yeah. You go for the deep dish, or you go for like a real pizza?
I went for whatever Casey's General Store makes, which is in-house. It's not terrible gas station pizza that you think. And no, we're not sponsored by them. It's delicious.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm spoiled. I'm a New Yorker.
Very greasy. Very greasy.
We're now looking ahead. Right, actually looking behind. There's the 2 Ferraris right there of Christian Oss and Tim Brokaw. And there's Christian Challoner right there, 6 laps down, doing the best he can to maybe salvage a couple positions. Had some technical difficulties at the start.
There's Spain without the S for Christian Challoner.
Well, there you go. That's our quote of the year right now from Christian Challoner. We're still looking at this battle between Munoz and Kingsbury. It's getting real tight here. I'd be surprised if Munoz isn't able to make this move down the straightaway, but Matt Kingsbury's putting up a hell of a fight to stay in third and get that podium.
2 tenths down, actually about a tenth and a half. Munoz was quicker than Kingsbury that last lap. Clog was half a second up on Kingsbury that last lap. Janney continues to pull away, 5.5 seconds from him to his teammate Clog. So 4 McLarens in the top 5, and then there is the Audi of Munoz. Great run off of turn 2. Defending is Kingsbury down to turn 3, down Central Avenue. Will Munoz take it to the outside of the American from Connecticut? Contact between them. Kingsbury into the fence in turn 3.
That's what an incredible thing we just saw there. I mean, Munoz trying to make it to the outside. Kingsbury, we know he's aggressive. But I don't think that paid off for
Clog there, Mike. I was really concerned because Kingsbury backwards, you can't obviously control a car very well. As we take a look from high above, it looks like Kingsbury tried to take the spot on the outside. Munoz was there, but of course we don't make calls in regards to the review panel on stream.
We call it as we see it. We're not opinionated. We don't have to be. Now we see it right now. There's Munoz. He's obviously the better of the 2 here. Didn't look like Kingsbury got that much damage though. I mean, it looked like almost non-existent. I don't know if that's just iRacing being iRacing or maybe he just got lucky with those tire barriers. But now you see Munoz, he's actually coming. Looks like Ray Kingsbury is looking for a little bit of revenge for his brother.
It might be a little bit of suspension damage for Kingsbury in the 21. If I look, he's got some damage to the hood, but that might have happened earlier. And there might be a slight bend. In fact, there is. There is a bend to the rear wing, as I thought maybe the wing was a little curved, but in fact it's not. Your wing is supposed to be flat on these cars. It's not like an F1 car's wing. Munoz, 6 tenths slower, obviously, than Clog that last lap. Janney was a second up on his teammate. Ray is pushing hard in the 25, the inaugural champion of the Sports Car Challenge here. He was 4 tenths up on Munoz, and even with Matt backing it into the fence here in turn 3, he ran a 135.2 to the inside, one of the Lamborghinis, Schofield. Rawls trying to take the fight through turn 3 here, Mike.
Yeah, he's trying right there as he goes into turn 4 there now. That means 2 Lamborghinis and a Mercedes. It's actually, these guys aren't even really racing for points. You got like an am sandwich right here. I think Schofield's a pro driver, so he's just trying to get.
Schofield is very close.
Super close there.
Between him and Rawls. As we remember, I do believe Rawls won the AM category in Sebring. I could be horribly wrong on that.
I believe he did, yes.
On board Rawls. Outside, or now inside. Back straightaway.
Not quite. Oh.
Cut the curb in turn 7.
Yeah, Schofield left almost no room there. I don't think he's going to get too much of a slowdown. Just losing a lot of time.
Schofield pushing hard. There's damage on that Lamborghini on the right rear.
And he's been pushing very aggressively. You saw that move he was trying to make on David Bush Street there, and he just wasn't able to get it done. I mean, I assume he's probably been trying to knock that fence down, trying to get around him. Obviously, to no avail.
Seth Rawls won in Sebring. I do have confirmation with that in the 125 Mercedes-Benz. Schofield's got damage on the right rear, like we mentioned earlier. I wonder if it's going to hurt them. Houston in the 4. I don't know. Was he in the pit lane? Because he is way off the pace. I don't know. He was. He was very slow. Down. He's just slow. I'm trying to look in the last lap here, Mike. I can't catch anything, but Houston way off the pace.
And I think Houston, real quick, Houston, I think has a new paint scheme. I think he's a lot more matte recently, so maybe he's got that spec map working there to see Schofield gonna try.
He's staying out of. Whoa, he might be low on fuel here, boys.
Oh,
that's maybe an issue. I think he might have miscalculated on the fuel because he is feathering the throttle down these straightaways.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has any damage unless it's all suspension related. And this track is, as all street circuits, is tough on damage, tough on your car. See that wall right? You see those walls right there? They will creep up on you, especially coming through like that turn 1, turn 3 through 6 complex. Probably the tightest cover. Oh, and there Jenny wins too. By the way, there you go.
He was so far ahead, we didn't even pay attention. As Jenny wins the sprint race here in Belle Isle, Clog is 2nd. 3rd is Munoz. 4th, Kingsbury. And 5th will be Matt Kingsbury after the incident in turn 3. The Fiercely Forward boys, 1, 2, and 4. That's ominous pace for that squad.
Indeed it is.
As the inversion grid, Houston, Schofield, Bush, Matt Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, Munoz, Clog, and Janny. And I know I just got here, but I'm going to eat some more pizza. We're going to bring in Charley Daniels.
Teal 72 with the gifted sub to VIP New Boot Goofin. Good to see you, New Boot. It's been a while. You guys, New Boot and Teal were probably our first 2 ever viewers on this channel about a year and a half ago when we launched it. So awesome to see those guys hanging out still. And obviously Teal, a member of our mod team. Also, just want to shout out 11 years of Nitro Circus Live. Today we celebrate the anniversary. What better way to do it than with a sports car race, guys?
Indeed, there is no better way to be celebrating. Obviously we're week past Veterans Day. We didn't raise on Veterans Day. Memorial Day. Jeez, oh god, what a good American I am. Yeah, Memorial. Obviously, we didn't race on Memorial Day. We want to send our shout outs to all the troops. We love you all. Thanks for everything you guys do. You guys are the reason that we get to do iRacing, I guess. So
we have developing news here in warm-up. Michael Janney has said in chat, can you end of longest line for me for the feature so I can start next to Christian Challoner? What is this going to do for the championship battle?
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's going to be a real interesting thing. I think it's a very sportsman-esque call from Michael Janney. Real respectful. He has just taken the points lead from Christian Challoner. So I think to have those two duking it out from the back, make it fair. Challoner unfortunately had that, we'll call it a mechanical failure because immersion. But yeah. And Kieran Forrest, also one who had it. He, I don't believe, lost too much on the points around Seth Rawls and Munoz. He lost it. I mean, he probably gained a gap on Munoz, but I don't think he actually lost the position.
And an update on that there, Mike. Kieran Forrest is unable to reconnect to the session, so he's saying his night is done, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And Ray Kingsbury is confirming no because it's a short grid. Frowny face for Janny. It will be a mess, says Ray Kingsbury. So, very sportsmanlike move. I'm the type of driver that wouldn't do that, but I can see why he's doing it. As we take a look, and we'll refresh everyone's memory here on the Penguin RC Drivers Championship. After 4 rounds, cross flags, halfway home in this season. Christian Challoner, 7 points as of before the feature, ahead of Michael Janney. David Bush III, 66 points. We remember the opening couple of rounds of the championship. Nicholas Laubish, Christian Challoner, Michael Janney, they were all on top of each other. Laubish no more in the championship, and I have no idea why. He just kind of vanished as Clog, Houston, Fanning. So it's going to be a huge battle for third. If you can bring that back up really quick, Vic. Third in the championship. That's crazy. They're within 13 points, but then it's a huge gap up to the points lead. The AM standings also brought to you by Penguin RC Simulations. David Bush III, 4 points ahead of Kevin Fanning, then Kieran Forrest a further 4 back. Seth Rawls, the winner in Sebring in Florida, in 4-13 back. Taylor Carroll, Sohn, Brokaw, Moftaw, Lane, and Lambert through the top 10. And the Constructors Championship, presented by KES Industries, Keep 'em Spinning Industries, Adaptive Controls for Sim Racing. Thanking Mario Bonfante Jr. for all the support that you've given us for the Sports Car Challenge and then the Rallycross Challenge. Fiercely Forward, Spark Virtual Racing, 289 points ahead of MPR Spark, 189, and Matco Tools with 176. The differences listed on that right-hand side. A couple programming notes for Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network, for the NASA side at least. We do have the Sim Racer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus on Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be at Bark River in Michigan for the first of the endurance rounds this season. You'll join myself, Cody Erdman, Victor Vallee, Charley Daniels, as always. As next week, for the Penguin RC Simulation Sports Car Challenge, we go to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix. If we speak about fourth wall breaking, we're like 2 feet away from Canada, so we'll be totally okay. Luckily, in sim racing world, the COVID restrictions are definitely not a thing. Charley Daniels, I need an update on Nitro Circus League if you're around on Tuesday and Thursday this week.
Yes, sir. We got Nitro Circus League tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. Tomorrow we're running Jettas on concrete ovals. That's all I know. But that league is open to the public. So if you're looking to come race with a bunch of yahoos, this is the league for you. I'll throw the Discord in chat right now. Come join up.
And is the Micah and Brownie show what you were going to do? Is that still going on Thursday?
Right. Thank you so much for the reminder. Yeah, so Thursday we'll have a kickoff of a new show in the Micah and Brownie universe, starring Micah Crans, playing video games, action sports news. We did a couple tests of this a few weeks back. Some of you might remember we played some Rocket League. I believe this week we're going to play some Wreckfest on stream Thursday. I think we're looking at a 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time start for that stream. But like I said, hit up that Discord to get notified when that session is going live.
As Christian Challoner, thank you, Charlie, for those updates. You can pay attention to chat on Twitch or in the description on the Automotive Sports Network on demand. Discord links for both communities will be involved. And I want to personally thank all of our viewers here on Nitro Circus Twitch or on the Automotive Sports Network on demand. You can join the conversation. Hashtag NASA on Nitro. Hashtag ASNTVUSA. And you can follow the North American Simulated Auto Racing Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram at NASA on iRacing. It's a wonderful platform that we are building in partnership with Nitro Circus, Sim Racer Coin, Penguin RC, all of the partners that have been involved. And no, I didn't script this. I'm looking at Victor Vallee's wonderful camera work, and it's just coming to me very well. As we had a wonderful sprint race. Granted, I only saw half of it as I was busy stuffing my face, but this track unrelenting with the concrete walls ever so close. A first and second corner, one of the trickiest in all of motor racing, and that straightaway down to turn number 3, Central Avenue. We've seen action already here in the Penguin RC NASA Sports Car Challenge.
Indeed, we have. And now we're looking ahead to this feature right now. I think that's going to be even better. We saw it. Especially, we've already talked about the invert we're having. Jenny is going to the back with Challenger. I mean, I'm stuffing my face with tomatoes right now. I mean, this is, well, he might be going to the back. I mean, this is a very exciting race we have to look forward to here.
And I think this is true Nitro Circus fashion, Charlie, and correct me if I'm wrong. When I was here in Brands Hatch, it was a big meme because you weren't here. And now we're busy stuffing our faces before we go. So I would like to think, you know, it's just a thing we have going on.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is you're going for the greasy pizza, and I'm eating cherry tomatoes.
I mean, I am eating tomatoes, though.
You are, yeah. But
I'm eating actually a big salad.
Yeah. I'm off the ice cream.
Ice cream is really good.
Ice cream is really good.
Challenger, 800ths up on Jenny. Clog is a second back. Wow. And granted, we only have a minute and a half left as we get ready for the feature race here in Belle Isle in Michigan. And granted, we only have 18 cars, but I've always liked a smaller field when it comes to a road race. Granted, the Rallycross is always crazy with 30 cars, and we've got some news there. I don't really want to spoil it now, but it's a big development. So make sure you tune in on Wednesday evening.
Speaking of, like, I want to talk about it a second. Obviously, we're at a street course here. You know, if you go about 2 hours to the west, you'll find yourself in Chicago. And this week, iRacing happened to give us something going on there.
I'm about to. If you make it from Detroit to Chicago in 2 hours and you don't get pulled over by Michigan, Indiana, or Illinois State Police, you're a wizard.
Well, 2 hours, that's a crow flies.
It took me 4 hours to drive from Northwest Indiana to my sister in Detroit. So I guess as a crow can't fly that fast in 2 hours. What are you talking about?
Yes, it can.
Did he drink racing fuel?
Yeah.
Jesus.
103 octane, baby.
Okay, so where's Cube? Where's Cube? Is he in Botswana today? Did anybody catch him when I was gone? Oh, you're right. He is taking a nap. Okay. Saskatchewan is a Canadian province. I'm really glad that Victor's muted because he just thought that Saskatchewan was a country.
It's about Saskatchewan, actually. They say...
All right, boys. All right, the memeage is over. As much as I enjoy the memeage, it's got to be over. As we get ready to grid for the feature, and I think that this is all the gridding is. We literally take one corner and then we're racing. Peter Houston on pole, David Schofield, David Bush III, Matt Kingsbury, Ray Kingsbury, Daniel Munoz, Josh Clogg, Michael Janney, Brian Sohn, Kevin Fanning, and Harley Moss, Christian Oss, Tim Brokaw, Seth Rawls. We do have a new driver, and I didn't catch his name. I stand correct. Dallas Myhand, I apologize there. Steve Lane, Marlon Moftot, Challenger, Wellwood, Forrest, and Larill.
Just want to point out real quick, we have Kieran Forrest in the Twitch chat right now. He's obviously we're pointing out he returned to here. Speaking of race fuel pigeons traveling to Cheetah, and I'm like, that's the only the highest quality banter in this booth.
We have to. It's a big meme. Okay.
Listen, we're here to have fun and make money.
As we get ready for round 5 of the Penguin RC NASA Sports Car Challenge, presented by Nitro Circus, Peter Houston, and Schofield on the front row. Victor Vallee in the production truck, Charlie Daniels, Twitchland, Mike Berry alongside me in the commentary cube. I am Josh Mertz, as we thank you all for joining us here on Nitro Circus Twitch. 45 minutes getting ready to go here in Detroit. Porsche safety car is off. Houston's on the gas, and we are underway in the Motor City. Houston off to a good start. Busch and Schofield, the two Lamborghinis, second and third. Kingsbury, Matt that is on the outside of Busch. Now he's on the inside through turn 2. Over the crest. Kingsbury very loose. Into the wall, side by side. We have Busch and Ray Kingsbury down to turn number 3. Everybody else very calm, very collected. Down to turn 3 on the outside, Busch of Kingsbury. Munoz to the inside, nearly making contact with Busch as we exit turn 3 and into turn 4, Mike.
And now as they come to turn 4 now, you can see the whole field going through there. Only can fit about 2 cars through there, and now he's working right down to this. We're looking at the 2 McLarens right there. Spark LM is that's Clock and Jenny right now. They're making that move on Carlos. Daniel Munoz. I'm gonna keep messing up. We actually have was that 2 for it? Oh, all right. I'm gonna get right over here. That's Busch right there.
Of Munoz, tried it. Different line down that back straightaway. Interesting to see between the Lamborghini and the Audi. We have the 2 fiercely forward Spark cars. According to this, 7th and 8th, so it looks like they have not moved. As we look at the team championship, once again, fiercely forward, 100 points ahead of MPR Spark. Matco Tools 13 back on MPR. MPR announced over the couple of weeks that they are pulling their full season support in the Penguin RC Sports Car Challenge. So hopefully we will see those drivers still involved, but that team out at the end of the season. Contact looked like Aust with balls as these guys very close down the front straightaway and into turn 1. Challenger coming from the back of the grid into turn 1. Munoz clips the curb over turn 1. That was Moss, sorry. Harley Moss. Those cars look identical. I hate you, Cody Erdman. Down turn the straightaway, Central Avenue, heading to turn number 3.
Oh, they're going.
Rawls is going to make it 3 wide on Moss and Aust. Down to turn 3. No, not enough room.
Then they make it work.
As Moss comes over voice chat, I can't hear his reply, but I'm sure he's not thrilled.
Just net lost 3 positions there for Moss.
And let's take, I'm taking a look off monitor. Houston and Schofield are still 1st and 2nd. Busch has been dispatched from 3rd, but the Kingsbury brothers are quickly arriving to the scene. And Matt Kingsbury's got some right rear damage after clipping the wall on the start there, Mike.
Yeah, a bit of a, I don't know, that rear end, obviously Matt Kingsbury does not like it on his car. He wants to find the best way to reshape it. He didn't put himself there. He got hit from the back by Munoz there. Munoz going to turn 1 to sprint, and now he's got that damage. I don't know. I guess we got to probably get him a different rear end because, God, he's obviously not a fan of it.
Schofield in the Lamborghini, in front of Kingsbury in the McLaren. Into the wall went Schofield, barely kissed it. In car number 27 in the Lamborghini. Down the front straightaway, that's not really a straightaway, and this front straightaway in turns 1 and 2, one of my most favorite corners in all of motorsport because it's so hard to get right. Matt hit the curb in turn 2, down Central Avenue, right to the outside.
Side by side now, wheel to wheel.
Down to turn number 3, down Central Avenue. Matt is there, Ray's gonna clear him. So put Ray Kingsbury, the inaugural champion, into 3rd.
Good move there by Ray, taking advantage of his brother's mistakes. I mean, I don't think Matt's going to be very happy. Actually, nothing Matt can really be too angry about that there. He took him clean. He made the mistake. He paid the price for it. Now we're looking at Michael Janney going on the offensive against Munoz.
Janney trying to get past Munoz in car in the 07 and the 113 of Janney. Peeks to the inside, technically the outside. That's the ebbs and flows, I guess you could say, of road course racing. One turn you can be on the outside, and if you keep that line, it could be on the outside and the inside the next corner. And I'm impressed with Peter Houston and Schofield holding their own. Kingsbury was 2/10 up on Houston and 3/10 up on Schofield that last lap. So I think that damage, well, no, Matt and Ray are equal on time, so I don't think the damage is affecting them, but Munoz was 3/10 up on both of the Kingsburys last lap.
I think that might just been due to battling right now. You see Munoz getting that challenge from Michael Janney. Janney's going to probably hold off on making a move here. He's got to run. Maybe just not enough to get him into turn 1 here. He's just going to take it easy. This part of the track, not a great place for overtaking, but right after there it is. See Janney going to try his best to make the run here. Staying in the slipstream, but I think it's like Munoz does have the slipstream of Kingsbury there, and he's just not going to be able to make that work.
As we take a look, one car out of the race, Josiah Wellwood in the 41. Heavy damage on the right front of that BMW, so I think we can take him out, obviously, as he is in the pit lane. I don't think that crew is going to be able to get that car repaired. Janney, 3/10 up on Munoz that last lap, and it's so hard to pass here. I hate to call it this, but even really after watching this is almost like the Monaco of U.S. street circuits, because there's no room to pass. You have to be realistically faster than a guy and on his rear wing to make something happen.
You clearly haven't watched Long Beach.
Yeah, you know, as I was saying that, I kind of forgot Long Beach existed. So, I mean, cut me some slack. Schofield ran wide in the corner there. Pay attention. Ray's going to peek to the inside of Schofield. He's going to think better of it in the McLaren behind the Lamborghini as they go back out onto what's essentially the front straightaway. Houston 3/10 up on Schofield that last lap. He was faster than everyone except Christian Challoner, 129.384 for the Briton in car number 7.
You saw that long shot at the end there, right at the very back. You saw Challoner. So he's got a decent gap behind him, obviously showing he's catching Pax instead of letting him catch him. So he comes through turn 3, trying to make a move on Christian Ost here to battle the Christians.
And the perfection that we witness every week, not only with Challoner, but just all these guys. I jumped back in the rally car for a demo run around Bark River to see what I was going to talk about on Wednesday. And I don't think I can't do it anymore because it's so hard to get one lap right in these cars, much less 45 minutes for these or 10 laps in the rally cars.
Yeah, this is definitely, I'd say this is the most competitive series on iRacing. We have such a high class of field. I mean, everybody here always fights hard, tooth and nail. It's always mostly clean. This is the best GT series on iRacing, and the Nitro Circus Rallycross Challenge is probably the best Rallycross series on iRacing now. It absolutely is, I'm hearing our producers say. So, you know, let's not get too bragging about ourselves, but, you know, obviously we have a reason to say that.
4/10 down was Houston on Schofield. And Schofield was actually faster than Ray in the 25, not faster than Matt. Matt on his brother Ray down to turn number 3, too far away, can't make anything happen between the two McLarens. Running it wide is Schofield in the 27. It's going to block up Ray here. Can Matt take advantage?
Ray's going to send it to the inside, though, and he gets it.
Schofield's going to lose not only 3rd, but he might lose 4th with Matt Kingsbury into turn 5. Kingsbury gets shoved out in the McLaren.
That's a
contact nearly between them through turn 6 Strand Drive.
I think that there was definitely contact there. You can see maybe a little bit of damage to the right side of Schofield there. Kingsbury seems to obviously have gotten the better of the two.
Munoz dives it in on Schofield and takes the spot. So we were talking about Schofield doing such a great job, which he was, but that one lockup has costed him 3 positions in the matter of 1 lap.
Indeed,
but that's the matter of GT racing, Mike. You make one slight mistake, and down you go in the order.
Especially in a field as competitive as this, everybody's so close together. I don't think there's a driver who's except for Peter Houston. Oh, and around he goes. There's a Schofield machine right there.
Schofield gets avoided by Ost. I only bring up Ost because he was millimeters away from hitting that car, and now the Lamborghini's got to do a 12-point turn.
Austin Powers.
Just like Austin Powers in the hallway in that movie. I forgot which one it was.
And he gets it done in 3, so obviously he's done better than I did on my driving test.
As Ost got passed by Challoner. Challoner defending. I know we're not paying attention necessarily right now, but Ost, better run than Challoner on the outside into turn 3. He's going to try the over-under on the Briton, and he can't make it happen. So Christian Challoner now in 10th, started last and did not race, well, at least competitively, in the sprint race, missed the start. So our points leader on the outside looking in of, well, now he's not on the top 10, but he was a lap ago.
Yeah, we're looking now at, if we're looking actually just now, Challenger, I believe, is 1 point behind Jenny for the points lead. I think this is the first. Is this the first time Jenny's led the points in the season? It might have been. I know Nick
believe it
held it
is
for a while, and then Challenger took it over once Albert started no showing. But yeah, I mean, good job to Michael Jenny leading the points. Our Pro Series champion from last season, looking to go for 2 here.
As our like Mike said, the defending champion of the Penguin RC NASA Sports Car Challenge in the pro category, Christian Challenger, obviously ran in the AM category, even though he's nowhere close to that level of talent. Ran in that series given the restrictions that we were trying to develop. So technically, the 2 defending champions are sitting 10th and in 5th. That's a long way to claw back. Granted, there's a long time left. Kingsbury's half a second up on Houston, but Challenger is coming quickly.
And there's Vanning and Zone right there. The 67, no, 68 and the 03, 2 Ferraris. Penguin RC and the Matco Tools machines. Challenger right behind him. He's going to try and bet to capitalize.
To the inside in turn 5. He did it!
Real respectful racing there from Challenger. Just a real class act. He looked at the opportunity. He didn't muscle him out the way. He just moved it to the inside and got by him clean. And there's Moss.
Harley Moss gets past Christian Ost, Tim Brokaw, Muller Mopta, Seth Rawls, Steve Lane, David Schofield. So 17 of the 18 cars. Wellwood has exited the pit lane, but there's still a lot of damage on that BMW. As Houston, the gap is shrinking from him to Kingsbury. Ray was half a second up that last lap, Mike. As we exit the final corner onto the front straightaway, much better run for Ray Kingsbury than Peter Houston. There's not a lot of time to turn 1, Ray, but he's going to peek to the inside. Can he make it stick? What a move! Contact between them, but they save it. Respectable driving. Exiting turn 2 over the crest.
Side by side now, coming down Capitol Avenue. If I'm correct there.
I was just about to say, Ray Kingsbury is not the type to make aggressive moves. That's very out of the ordinary for him. Down to turn 3. Exiting Central Avenue. He's got the spot. He gets it to stick. And the inaugural champion of the race.
No, he doesn't. Here goes Peter Houston almost making the move there. Coming into turn 5 now. He's going to lose a bit of ground. And there goes Matt Kingsbury making a look to the inside, too. The 2 Kingsbury brothers trying to make it a 1-2. I think that'd be the first time they've ever pulled that off.
And Ray Kingsbury, the inaugural champion of the Penguin RC Simulation Sports Car Challenge, pulls out a huge gap from Houston in the BMW. Matt Kingsbury, half a second faster than Houston that last lap. And Munoz sneaking into the picture. Janney sneaking into the picture. So dare I say it, the pin to the grenade is Peter Houston. Once he gets dispatched from these guys, I think they're going to be pulling away. And Matt is probably fuming inside of that McLaren. He knows he's just as fast as his brother, but he's being held up.
Yeah, he's going to have to try his best now and make the same move his brother did. Maybe, I don't know, I can't remember which one's the older one. But, maybe they're twins?
I think Ray is older by like 5 minutes, but I could
Okay, Ray's the older one by technicality. So, maybe Matt's learning from his slightly older brother. The twins, obviously, right now looking for a 1-2 finish. Josh, if you want to correct me here, that would be the first time they've ever done it, right?
I don't have time to look through my stat book, but I don't think they have finished 1-2 in the Sports Car Challenge. No, they have not.
Alrighty then, as we could be seeing history in the making here. The first time 2 family members have made a 1-2. Look at that. We're wait on the break. Houston's being very conservative on the entry there.
So last lap, we're going to update lap times. 1 minute 30.738 for Ray Kingsbury. 1 minute 31.698, a second faster than Houston was Kingsbury.
And real quick, I want to talk about I saw Josiah Wellwood was about 5 minutes ago in the Twitch chat there. Charlie, if you want to take that over and just talking, I guess we can call it our post medical center interview.
Yes, sir. Josiah Wellwood popped into chat and said he's still learning these cars and pushed it too hard into the corner, slapped the wall. And any kind of damage on these cars and the whole thing is thrown off, guys. And
that's just unfortunate for Josiah Wellwood. We hope to see him back next week. I think he'll once you get these cars down, I think he'll be pretty good. So, we're hoping for the best for you, Josiah. And now we see Houston going to
was the gap from Kingsbury to Houston. Matt was 2 tenths up. Munoz is coming, and we know that Munoz and Kingsbury do not have a good history here. And here comes Janny in the 113.
I just remember something. When Kingsbury and Munoz made contact, that's not the first time that exact thing has happened. Didn't it happen at a Watkins Run a couple weeks ago?
I think it happened in Brands Hatch, too.
We're here in our former points leader, Christian Chandler, just set the fastest lap of the race. I don't exactly have that time up for you.
1 minute, 29.276 for Christian Challoner. Put it into perspective, the fastest lap of Kingsbury was a 30.3, 30.6 for Houston. Matt ran a 30.4. Fastest by a huge margin. As one, let's see, everyone's lap the last time around at least wasn't 1 minute 30, as Victor Vallee corrects us and says 1 minute 29.1 for one of the Fiercely Forward cars. So as I want to bring in Charlie Daniels for a little Twitch update while we have a little lull, dare I call it that, in the action. Charlie, what you got?
We've got a new segment, Forrest's Flat Out Facts. Unfortunately, Kieran Forrest won't always be able to be hanging out in chat, but when he is, man, we're getting some good insight. Pointing out Challoner slicing and dicing his way up the field, sitting in 8th right now, moved up several spots. You guys were just talking about his lap time. I got a chance to talk to Christian ahead of the race today, and he said that the week off between actually affects things more than you might think, because it gives people a lot more time to tweak their setups and get more practice in. So back to you guys. It sounds like something's going on down the track.
Yeah, we got a thing going on here. Just like Houston lost a bunch of.
Turn 3 in the BMW, very slow on the apex, and it kind of hindered clogged Janny Munoz. All those guys involved there. The last lap, I'm so confused by Houston's pace as we look on the replay there. That is Wellwood in the BMW behind Houston, that second BMW there, trying to stay out of the way, so I don't blame him, but it's just so hard around this track. Peter Houston was half a second up on Kingsbury that last lap. So the BMW, he's saving his stuff, and he's really pulling when he needs to. The gap is 8 tenths of a second, and then it's another second to Matt Kingsbury.
And let's talk for a second about our points battle right now. Challoner is closing in on Janny. Janny has held position since the last time he updated you, but Challoner's gained 2 spots. He's about 4.5 seconds back. Let's see if Challoner has anything. I mean, he's kind of battling with David Bush now, I believe, if I'm not correct. Yeah, there he is right now. Going into turn 1, he's going to maybe try into turn 3, I guess. He's going to back up this corner, and that's the key to making overtakes here.
Last lap for Challoner, 1:29.845. Bush the third, a 1 minute 30.714. Peeking to the inside is our, former points leader by 1 point. He is in second, takes the position from David Bush the third. And there is something, if we can go on board Challoner here, I'm going to dictate this and make this call. We can see the perfection of this Audi and every apex that he hits. I just can watch this all day, and I don't even have to speak. I'm just in awe of the amount of concentration that it requires to get these cars right, especially at this track. Down the back straightaway, on board Christian Challoner as we head down into turn number 7. Very tricky to get right. The curb is there. Into the wall. 2 cars around. It's Matt Kingsbury and Munoz. They came together in the infield.
Yeah, we're going to try and get a better look at there. There's Matt Kingsbury right there. What a move. We're going to see if we can get a replay here. Here we go. Look at, was that Michael Janney or Josh? Wait, that was Michael Janney there making the move on the
Kingsbury
inside.
hit the wall exiting turn 7, and the guy who he crashes is Munoz.
Look at, I see.
What are the odds that could have happened?
Yeah, these two just cannot stay out of each other's way, for better or worse. There's Christian Challoner. He's now only 1 spot away from Mr. Yeah, he's now only 1 spot away from Challoner. Only 3 seconds. He's gained a lot of time. Didn't really lose out too much there.
we see Janny, Clog, and Challoner. That is our championship battle, as Kingsbury pulling away 1/10 slower than Houston that last lap. And dare I say it, team orders have been an issue in the last couple of seasons. I can't remember, and it's funny because I'm the GM, I can't remember if we banned him or not, but you can probably say that Clog is going to make his car a little bit wider than he normally would, as his teammate is battling for the championship.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like that. In the end of the day, he's still trying to battle for position. I mean, he's still in it. I believe he's third in points right now. It's just a little bit of extra motivation, as our producer puts the words in my mouth for me. Yeah, there he is. He's actually trying to gain points on David Bush. So, if he's able to keep Challenger behind him, Bush only one spot back, he can build a decent buffer here for the point lead.
Because regardless if he's third in points, still taking points away from Challoner is a win in my book. I remember in NASA Rallycross, I would do that with my teammates Cody Erdman and Tristan Hagenstein, when we were battling Philip Kraus and Dylan Livingood for championships. You take points away from your rival, and even if they're your teammates and they're kind of out of it, but they give up those points, I think at the end of the day, the team is what matters when you're down on points. We still ride on board with Challoner. His last lap was 7/10 up on Clog. Great slipstream down the Central Avenue into turn 3, but you got to be much closer to make a move.
Yeah, and you can see Challoner really taking advantage of the brakes on that Audi. He's actually very interesting is how he brakes. You see him like very modulating, like he's hard on it initially, and then he lets off and he gets back on it, really just to try and maximize the distance he can go with speed he doesn't lose and the speed he has to lose in order to make the corner. Very talented move there from the ex-pro driver.
As Challoner getting the slipstream again down Strand Drive between 6 and 7. Onto the curb as Clog made a mistake there. Around turn 8, turn 9 near the fountain. Turn 10 and 11, very tricky sector to get right here under the Continental Bridge.
There he goes, he's still making that. We said he was trying to make that car a little bit wider. He doesn't have to make it much wider around this track. All he's got to do is about, extend it out a foot or two, and then Challoner has nowhere to go. He's got a little
13,
bit of a run.
14, running it wide in 13, a little bit loose on the Sunset Drive. Turn 14 and down to turn 1.
Yeah, I mean,
last lap, Kingsbury 1 minute 30.124, Houston a 1 minute 30.574, Janny a 1:29.570. Houston wide in the BMW and put Janny to second.
There you go, Janny making smart calls here, making moves, getting aggressive. He has to put as much gap between him and Challoner as possible. 21 minutes to go. We're just past the halfway point here, so we still have plenty of racing for you here on the Nitro Circus Twitch channel. If you're watching this on ASN TV or later on, hello to you guys. We love you anyway, even though you couldn't be here live. Try your best to be here. We're here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Nitro Circus Twitch channel. Come and check us out. Maybe we'll even shout you out on the Mr. Charlie Daniels here.
You're trying to take my job.
I am.
Wow. All right, let's reset the running order here, at least the top 5 or so, as we cross halfway crossed flags. Ray Kingsbury, Michael Janny, so the last two champions in second and in first, respectively. Peter Houston, Josh Clog, and then the defending AM champion, Christian Challoner, even though he won't be defending that championship. David Bush is leading in the AM standings. He is sitting in the 6th spot overall, way ahead of Kevin Fanning. If we take a look, he's about 5 seconds ahead of Fanning. We're going to take a look again at Challoner. We still ride on board Clog here in the 199. Challoner getting the slipstream again, Mike. Can he take the fight into turn 3?
Always looking to the inside now. He's not going to be able to do anything here. I think the McLaren might be a little bit faster in the straight line than the Audi. I can't remember exactly how the BMW though. He's Peter Houston. Credit to him. Was obviously the worst of the inverts, I guess. But he's definitely made a case for why he should be up front and why he is up front right now, running third behind Kingsbury and Janny.
Janney was 5/10 up on Ray Kingsbury that last lap. So the teammates 1, 2, and 4. Clog is being hounded by Challoner into turn 7 where he made that mistake a couple laps ago. Janney on the rear wing of his teammate.
Hey, see, look at this. Ooh, and now we're looking at Kingsbury. This is the battle for the lead, actually. I mean, you see, Kingsbury, look at that great low shot there. Almost a digger cam out at the Fox Sports. Now you're looking at this now we're actually looking back at the 3-car battle here. There's Christian Challoner, Josh Clog, and Peter Houston. Three manufacturers. I mean, we've always said it's a bit of a McLaren-dominated series here. For some reason, that was the car that was the favorite for this. For all of our drivers, second would be the Ferrari, and then the Audi.
Ray ran it wide, exiting turn 2. Battle for the lead. Down Central Avenue. Janney's going to get by, and Ray's going to let him through. There was some, my right foot doesn't work, and I have to let off the gas pedal with Ray Kingsbury. So, as maybe I'm just blind and I missed the brake pedal application from the 25 of Ray Kingsbury. We take another look at the pass for the lead between teammates Michael Janney and Ray Kingsbury. Down the straightaway.
We're looking at the slow-mo here.
Easy highway pass, as they like to call it in F1.
Oh!
As flames erupt from the 25 as the brake pedal was pushed down there.
That's very controversial from I believe that Spark. That's fiercely forward Spark. I think we got to correct ourselves.
Clog moved over.
Clog got over too.
Clog moved over for Challoner. I think. He did. He moved over for Challoner. As I just caught that on the replay, Challoner now trying to catch Peter Houston. So the BMW sits in the 3rd spot as we take another look at Challoner passing Clog in the 199.
Point out real quick, I mean, Ray Kingsbury I don't believe Janney and I'm assuming Janney and Clog are in a chat together, but Kingsbury isn't. So maybe Janney got by him, and we know Janney was pushing to go back with Christian Challoner and race to the front with him. Timur to let him by. Very classy moves there from Janney.
Challoner peeks to the inside of Houston in the BMW, and he's going to take the 3rd spot. So from last to the podium for Christian Challoner, and now he's got one spot between him and his championship rival.
Oh, not quite going to be able to hold on. Super close there. Christian Challoner back into the podium now. Only about 4 seconds back of Michael Janney. Can he catch him in time? But that's the question. I mean, he spent all this time. He's easily the hard charge to this race. It's not even a contest at this point. I don't know what he's going to be able to...
As I know it's not a battle for the lead, but I was flicking through the field just to see. Harley Moss had a huge amount of damage on the left rear of that Audi and came together with Brian Sohn in the 03. So we will put them back to the back of the field. On a tough day for Sequential Sim Sport with Munoz and with Harley Moss. As Houston got passed by Challoner earlier on, now he's about to get passed by Clog. Let's take a look and recap the lap times as we round turn 14 to take 16 minutes, 16 and a third minutes.
2/3 of the way there.
28.9. 29.8 for Kingsbury. 29.7 for Challoner.
Oh, to the inside.
A full second faster was Janney than the rest of the field, and Clog is hounding Houston in the BMW.
Not letting up as Houston. He wants to hold on to as many positions as possible. He's been doing a great drive today. Here comes Clog to the inside.
Down to turn 3, locking him up. Has to clip the curb. Can't get the spot. He was really up the brakes in turn 3.
Let's just point out, 2 weeks ago at some point, Peter Houston was doing some very good defensive driving. But from Christian Challoner, of all people. Fortunately, that same story did not play out that way for Houston, but, he's kind of paying, fortunately for Christian. I mean, he's using the lessons he learned a couple weeks ago, and he's using them very effectively on Josh Clog here.
Janney, Kingsbury, Challoner. Challoner is 3.8 seconds away from his championship rival. And there's a 1-point difference between those guys because Challenger gave up those points given his sprint race issues. And we've seen in any form of motorsport that any point counts. And I've said this one before, every point counts. And I've learned this from experience when I won one of my championships in NASA Rallycross. I won 9 out of 10 heat races, and I won that championship using those bonus points. So in this translation, 128.7 for Challenger, the last lap, 128.9 for Janny. Every point counts is what I'm getting to. You can't leave any on the table when it comes to a short season like this.
Yeah, Challenger is definitely doing a very good job of just gathering every point. Obviously, wasn't able to get any points there. But this drive right now, I think he could be happy with a 3rd place. I mean, he's going to lose a little bit of ground to Jenny, but like knowing the way that he was able to rack up points, especially last season, I mean, and he just clipped the wall, as I was saying. I was going to talk about how consistent and clean he is, too. But, good job proving me wrong, Christian.
He did hit the wall. I thought that you guys were crazy, but he clipped it with the left rear. Just barely a kiss. And Ray Kingsbury, a second and 3/10 down on Challenger. Beautiful camera work from Victor Vallee as we take a look at Challenger hitting the wall there. So Janny, 3.7 ahead of Kingsbury, and it's a further half second from Kingsbury to Challenger, and they are pulling away from Houston in the BMW, who is still having a huge battle. Looks like he got a little squirrely there over the curb. He's ahead of
what's the problem there for Munoz? Very slow off the corner there. We haven't really been talking about him much. He's having a quiet day running in the top 5 after... Well, he's having a quiet day now. He wasn't really having one when he was duking it out with Matt Kingsbury. Matt Kingsbury right now 9 laps down. As you can see, we haven't heard anything from him, but I assume not very happy.
Huge run for Challenger, boys. Off of turn 2, down Central Avenue. We pay attention to Christian Challenger on Ray Kingsbury. Both former champions of the series. Down to turn 3. Ray's going to let him have it. Unless he's going to try the undercut. He still holds it. Does Kingsbury in the 25. He might be nice and kind, but he knows how to drive a car. Out of turn 4, down to turn 5, and these boys are still side by side.
What an amazing move there. You wouldn't expect you could get even 2 cars side by side. That's a place you don't pass that. Christian Challenger just proved me wrong. Proved a lot of people wrong too, I assume. And look at
That's some talent and respect that we have seen between Ray Kingsbury and Christian Challenger. I can tell you from experience that Ray Kingsbury literally has the most perfect morals in out of every single person that I've met in my life. So the fact of the matter that he is driving like that is no surprise. Houston still holding off Clog in the 199. He was 0.2 slower, but that BMW is super wide. Clog tried the inside. And I'm curious here, Mike, we're going to see these lap times rotate out. Janny holds the lead. It's 5.7 from him to Challenger. 129.0 for Janny. And at the line for Challenger, 130.4. But he was battling Ray that last lap. So clear air, super important. And now it's on with 11 3/4 minutes left.
Yeah, and to point out real quick, we're not really going to run into any lap traffic. Seth Rawls was having a rough day in 16th. He was sitting, I believe he's sitting not too far back. It looks like he has some damage. That wing looks sideways on the front end. Turn up, so not having a good day. There's Steve Lane. Those guys are the farthest back right now, but they're still about 20 seconds off of Janny, or ahead of Janny, so we shouldn't be seeing anything serious here. And there's that Mr. Moss there. Look at the damage on Harley Moss's car there. Wow. And we're looking at, obviously, then Brian Stone. Marwan Mafta keeping it clean.
The Egyptian holding it down for MPR Spark in the 12th position in that McLaren, battling with Schofield and Brian Sohn in between those two. And I'm curious to see the lap times once again between these two. And we keep looking at Houston holding off Clog. I can't get over this.
Yeah.
Clog, as just as I go to say that, they contact between them. Exiting turn 11 down to 12.
Pulling out the Earnhardt playbook right here. Josh Clog might be. He's definitely faster than Houston. He just cannot do anything to get around him. That not.
up. Is Challenger on Janny? We have 10 minutes and a 10 and a third. Words are hard. Quarter, I don't know. I worked all day. 10 minutes left here in Belle Isle. Clog with the run on Houston. Houston defends, goes to the racing line, side by side, outside. Clog on Houston, still can't get the drive off the corner. He's going to have the better run, slopes to the inside.
What a
side
move!
by side.
Oh, contact!
Nearly contact, they did!
Contact on their inside.
Nearly into Houston,
no!
and it all comes
And
unglued
Daniel
for those
Munoz.
two.
Oh, my.
And
I
David
can't
Bush
believe
III
that.
loves this. Remember, he's leading the AM category. And Houston and Clog come together. And I feel like I'm going to be a part of the review panel here in just a couple minutes having to look at that one.
Yeah, thank God I'm not on that. I'm not on that duty. But what? I can't believe what I just saw there. It's like both guys just made mistakes. Obviously, Clog made the move. Houston shut the door, and then it was just history from there.
Has 9 minutes left here in Belle Isle. This is going to put Munoz in the 5th position as Janny, Challenger, Kingsbury, Munoz, and Clog. It's going to put Munoz, is that right? It's going to put him 4th, actually. I stand corrected. Last lap, 129.1 for Janny, 129.1 for Challenger. The gap is evening out. It's 5.2 seconds. It's going to have to be a huge margin that is much quicker than what he just did to try and catch Janny.
I mean, it looks like he's holding solid right now. I assume he basically needs a miracle out of he needs something bad to happen to Janny and some very fine driving from Challenger here. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another. I don't think Challenger's gonna be able to do either. But what an amazing rebound he's had all the way back from 18th on the grid.
We look at Christian Ost and Tim Brokaw battle for 8th position. It's pro versus am, so for that championship it doesn't necessarily matter, but for the overall one, it does. Clog's got damage in the 199, given the circumstances of earlier, and David Bush pushing hard in the 32 in the Lamborghini. Clog really clobbered, or I can't believe I was about to say that. Clog clogged the curbs. Yeah, I'll see myself out. That was bad. But he is ahead of Bush in the Lamborghini. Challenger, I'll give you an update, 128.8, 128.9. There is no difference between these two. It's almost like when Challenger turns up the wick, Janny says, hold my beer. I'm going to be much faster than you.
Dude, he does. Real quick, I'm going to modify an emote.
As Charley, we got a little bit of a downtime here. How is Twitchland?
We got our very first Forrest's Flat Out Facts segment. It turns out Janny and Clog neither talks during races, according to Kieran Forrest. That's no communication at all, and that's coming from a former teammate of one of them. So interesting note there. Another note that's interesting, I talked to Christian Challenger ahead of the race, as I said before. He actually predicted him and Janny being duking it out for the top spots here, and also he said this track very difficult to pass on, which is incredible considering how many drivers that Challenger was able to pass on his way to P2 right now.
And thank you, Charley, as Christian Challenger went from 18th on the grid to P2. As we get close to getting to the last 5 minutes of today's race, and let me tell you, I was gone the couple of weeks ago, and I was really sad because I know how crazy that this series gets, and certainly
that's Rawls putting it in.
Certainly amazing to watch as Rawls pits in the 125 from 16th position. Like we have mentioned all throughout the show, thank you guys so much for joining us here on Nitro, Circus, Twitch, or the Automotive Sports Network on demand. Be sure to join that conversation, hashtag NASA on Nitro or hashtag ASNTVUSA, and Discord links will be spread throughout chat and description of both platforms. As Michael Janny, 1 point ahead of Christian Challenger after winning the sprint race. And Challenger did not take the grid in the sprint race, and that's what we have. That's why we have the result as we do. Ray Kingsbury has put up a hell of a fight in the 25. The amount of respect that we saw earlier on between those two is staggering, and the inaugural champion 12 seconds behind his teammate in third. Daniel Munoz, the Panamanian driver, sitting in fourth for Sequential Sim Sport. Great run for that team, despite the fact that he came together with Matt Kingsbury here in turn number 7. We look at Josh Clogg, P5 in the 199, came together with Peter Houston battling for a podium position a little bit earlier on in turn number 4. So the third Fiercely Forward car still in a top 5 position. David Busch III leads in the AM category in his Lamborghini ahead of Kevin Fanning, who is second in the AM category in that Matco Tools Ferrari. 8th place, Christian Ost. As I say, he loops it ahead of Tim Brokaw. And Peter Houston gets by him. Ost is going to throw it into reverse in true NASA fashion and try and do a J-turn. He's got plenty of time before Schofield catches up. And that was NASA fashion at its finest. Schofield, Moftaw, Harley Moss, Brian Sohn, Steve Lane, the 15 cars that are on track.
Yeah, I don't know if we can call that the commentator's curse. He was kind of spinning as we came to him. I don't know if, like, as a commentator curse, like, moved to, like, telepathic, because we were probably thinking about moving to him. That's very interesting. That's a producer's curse there. Thank you.
As Gianni, 2/10 up on Challenger that last lap. Turn 7 once again for Gianni. 3.5 minutes left to go here, gents. And what a race that we have witnessed here tonight.
I know sometimes Street Circus, they're more about the drivers. They're the ones who enjoy, but I think this is one that the fans could enjoy too. We've seen such good action, passing, drama, chaos. All the above. You see that white supposed to be water there. Unfortunately, iRacing not a good water model. If you want to do that, you can go yell at Christian Challenger in the Twitch chat, and he'll probably not see it. I don't think he does either, but it's about, but he can be our scapegoat for this.
I forgot that Jake Poulin worked for iRacing, so shout out to one of the Solstice Pro Line guys that I have raced for. Forgot that he raced for, or he works for iRacing. So it's crazy to think, really quick tangent, I know it's not race related, really quick to think that I've raced against some of these people for 10 plus years and how they have evolved into staff members for various teams. Ryan Williams, a designer for Junior Motorsports. Jake Poulin works for iRacing. Jay Lopez works for Tommy Joe Martin's team in the Xfinity Series. And Tammy Joe, yes, I almost said Tammy Joe. Shut up, Victor Vallee. Words are hard. I worked for 8 hours and I got yelled at by a guy about a TV, okay? And it was not fun.
Well, you gotta yell back, Josh.
I'm not a salesman anymore, Victor Vallee. I supervise salesmen.
Ah, you're the manager.
Yes.
Ah, yes. That's probably that's probably worse though.
It is.
I mean, the pay is better, but the quality of life is much worse.
As 3/10 up was Challenger on Gianni, but I hate to say it, and I really don't want to say it, but I mean, the race has really been run unless something catastrophic goes wrong. Yes, Kieran Forrest, I'm focusing. I don't have ADD, I promise.
I do.
Ray Kingsbury sits in third. Munoz, as we're looking at Clogg and Busch, these lap times were equal that last lap. Busch is pushing hard. He wants to get this top 5. And Clogg trying to survive with the damage on that car.
And you can see him. David
so
Busch,
hard to get these corners
he would
right.
have loved to see something happen here. I mean, I think this is the first time in a while we're actually gonna be able to get Jenny and Challenger into an interview together. Hope if everything plays out. I'm not gonna jinx it or anything. So it'd be interesting to see how they both feel after this race, especially after the issues the Challenger had. So we'll see.
1 minute 29.190 for Gianni. 1 minute 28.725 for Challenger. 4.4 seconds is the gap as we are coming to the white flag here in Belle Isle. Kingsbury holds third. Munoz fourth. Munoz is getting close. Half a second up on Kingsbury that last lap. So the Panamanian might be getting into a podium place with 1 lap to go. But is Gianni going to make it to the line before the time expires? I don't know.
There's going to be white flag. One
Exiting
lap
turn
to go.
11, down to 12, 13, and 14. There's 15 seconds. It's not like Supercross. It's not 45 plus a lap. You have to get to the line before the time expires. Dare I say it, I would have just stopped. This is the checkered flag. Janny wins in Belle Isle.
We are so bad at finding whoever wins it. Here comes Christian Challenger. He's going to finish second. Here's the battle for third right now. Carlos Munoz.
Yes,
Never going to get that right. Never going to get that right.
Ray Kingsbury holds off Munoz. And that's what I was thinking, boys. I wasn't sure if there wasn't going to be enough time for another lap. And Janny, I think, timed that perfectly.
He definitely did. What an amazing race we had there. And there you have our two championship contenders here. And Ray Kingsbury, how you doing?
And Bush wins in the AM category ahead of Fanning and ahead of Brokaw. So 6th, 7th, and 8th, all AM category drivers. As we get a shot of our podium finishers. What a camera angle that we're getting here in Belle Isle. And what a race.
Unfortunately, they're not in order right now. Thanks, guys. But we're going to excuse that, and we're going to... Yeah, Christian, I don't know. I'm not in this session. He's gone. And Jane's gone. Now we're going to wait here for... we're going to call our boys into the booth here. We're going to get our race winner, our second place, and our AM category winner. And we're going to talk to them for a second about how this race went.
So let's try and pull them all in here. As I was pulling Ray Kingsbury, but clearly that's not right. I don't know who we've got for interviews at this current time.
I don't think we're going to be pulling third place here. So we're going to go for Munoz, Challenger, and Janny. No, not Munoz, but Bush. Bush.
Janny, Challenger, and Bush as we wait for them to connect. Charlie Daniels, how was Twitchland reacting to this?
Man, the chat again during this race was subdued, and I think it's because of how much there was going on at every aspect of the race. Still mind blown by Challenger's movement from P18 to finish second on the podium. What a run by him, and I cannot wait to see the battle between these two as this season continues on, guys.
And I don't know if we're going to have any interviews tonight as we are waiting
we probably should ask them politely first.
We are Challenger's here. Okay. We're going to pull in our second place man, Christian Challenger. Mike Berry, he is all yours.
Christian Challenger, you came home in a second place position, rallying up from 18th. Take us through that incredible comeback you had there.
I wish I hadn't had to do it, actually, because that was kind of really unfortunate. Like, right at the end of qualifying, just as it was kind of running the last 10 seconds down, I noticed that my Q bar was going completely red, and then I never got sent through to the grid, and my ISP just decided I didn't need internet for about 10 minutes, so that was, fun. So sucked to miss the sprint, because I think that was actually going to be a really fun battle between myself and Michael, but it made the feature really fun, actually. And to be honest, I think I probably got all there was to get anyway, even if I'd have actually started next to Michael, because at the beginning, he was kind of clearing traffic at sort of the same rate that I was. And so I think at one point we were less than 3 seconds apart. And I legitimately thought that there was a chance that I could probably win it if I cleared a couple of cars relatively quickly. And it just didn't really do that, to be honest. I could have been more efficient in passing people. I put a couple of people in some kind of bad spots, had a couple of moments where we were too wide for kind of too long. I mean, it was cool to do, but it lost me a lot of time to do it. And yeah, I just could have been better at passing cars, but it was fun to cut through. It was difficult, like I thought it was going to be, to actually pass people around here. Probably had too much downforce on, but it made the car really, really fast. It's probably actually the fastest setup that I've actually brought this season, so that was cool. I mean, it's unfortunate about what happened in the sprint, but it kind of goes both ways. I know Michael's had some issues. Obviously, the round I missed at Brands Hatch, he kind of had a weird issue at the start, so we've both kind of had problems, and this week it was my turn,
Indeed, and I mean, this is if my math's correct, you were sitting 1 point behind Jenny going into the feature, and then I think you're now 11 points back. I mean, it's like this is the first time that he's led the points. I mean, how are you going to deal with this? Maybe a new form of pressure for him or for you? I guess if that makes any sense.
I mean, to be honest, I don't actually think it really changes anything at all because it was kind of like that after the round that I had to miss anyway. So I was kind of behind there, and I got lucky. He had a bad round at Summit, and that allowed me to catch up a bunch. The main thing is kind of the tracks, if I'm honest. The last couple of tracks are not really places that I'm particularly good at. I think Montreal is probably not so bad. I'm actually probably best at those at the remaining one, but Homestead with the kind of roval is actually really really tricky. If anybody's not driven it before, it's definitely not
It's
an easy
tough.
track to get around. And Sonoma, yeah, I raced it a couple of times in the Cup car, but definitely not my favorite road course. Might be okay in this car, but we'll just have to see. It's really I think the tracks that are going to probably do it.
Now, I want to ask you something. You might not be able to answer it, but obviously this week we do have a new GT3 coming out. How do you think that's going to affect the changing up of the whole thing? If you can't answer it, that's obviously okay. But yeah, how do you think it's going to affect the whole balance here? I don't think we're going to be racing it here, but maybe for next season.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that car to be extremely popular just because of what it is. It's it's the Porsche 911 GC3. It's been a highly requested car for a very long time. I know even myself, I really really wanted that car, and I actually put a lot of dev time into that. So pretty familiar with it at this point, and yeah, I'm actually really really excited about that. I think that people will really really enjoy it. I hope to see a bunch of them out there, not because it's a superior car in terms of BOP or anything like that, but just because I know that people like the car, and I hope that people like our rendition of it. I think it'll slot into the field pretty well. We've also got a bunch of other BOP changes coming in. The McLaren and the Audi have got kind of parity changes. Both of them have got 10 kilos added to them. So I think me and Michael are proving that the BOP between those cars is pretty good, and those should stay together. It should kind of pull that pairing back just a little bit. The BMW is actually the one kind of out of the current cars that's had the biggest overhaul. So I know Peter is kind of our BMW guy in the series. I'm hoping he likes the changes to it because there's a lot of them, and hopefully it should make that car a little bit less of an outlier and kind of better merged into the pack. It should have less tracks where it's really dominant, and other tracks where it's kind of a bit out to lunch just because of the changes we made to it. So I'm hopeful of that, and I'm hopeful the Porsche slots in. And yeah, I'm excited for the Porsche. It was a lot of fun to work on it. I'm really glad that I was able to.
Yeah, it's definitely very exciting. Now we're going to just quickly wrap this up. Is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody, any family, any sponsors?
I'd just like to give a shout out to you guys as usual. Obviously, the broadcast is immense, and everybody for running the league. It's a lot of fun. Michael, Janie for winning the race because I strongly think that he had me beat no matter what. Just because he was so much better at clearing through the traffic. So it was good to see him pick up the win. Even though obviously it puts me behind a little bit in points. But no shout out to my ISP because that really wasn't a lot of fun to have to start at the back. But we'll be back next week.
All right, that's Christian Challenger coming up second. Just a little bit short, but an amazing drive for him. Now we're going to bring in our AM class winner. Here's David Bush, and unless Josh wants to take it, I guess I can take. Actually, I'll take it. Josh, you got it. You got it.
I will handle our race winner overall, Michael Janney. So he's all yours.
David Bush, you come home with the M category win and a sixth place overall. Take us through that race, man. I mean, you look like you had a pretty good car.
Yeah, I was just trying to stay consistent. That was my first official race ever on Belle, so I was just trying to keep up but not hit the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you definitely did a pretty good job there. Your car looks relatively spotless at this point. I mean, you had a bit of a quiet day. I mean, you had some battles going on with Yeah, I can't even think. Yeah, you just had a quiet day, man. I mean, quiet, consistent. Anything you want to point out? Because I know unfortunately we weren't paying attention to how your battles were going.
I totally understand that. I sat around with gaps on both sides most of the race and just tried to just continue to hit marks and not hit walls. So overall, I thought it was a way more relaxing race than what I thought it was going to be coming here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess looking ahead, I don't know if you're in the point lead right now for the AM category, but looking ahead the next couple of races, how you feeling? I mean, we're going to Montreal, Homestead, and Sears Point.
I'm feeling good. I just gotta keep up. This was my biggest asterisk because I had never ran here, so I'm glad that I seem to do just fine.
All right, then I guess to wrap it up, is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors, family, etc.?
Just the overall team that is overhead of all of this, and you guys for the broadcasting, and anybody who takes the time out of their day to sit around and watch us do some great racing.
And that's David Bush right there. Came up 6th place overall with the AM category win. Now, I don't know who we're bringing in next. I've heard it's... And we're bringing Ray Kingsbury. Josh, you want to take this?
Hey, you had a great podium finish, but you came up a little bit short of technically being interviewed, but I make the rules and I can dictate what I do. So how was your race, and how are you?
I was quite pleased with that, you know. I got 3rd place. And our teammate got 1st place, even though you keep calling him not my teammate.
No. You can go back and watch this show, and I have 3 people as witnesses. I finally got it right. You said you were going to be quick. Anybody you'd like to thank for this result tonight?
Yeah, shout out to, Spark Virtual Racing. They've been huge for us. Also, shout out to all the guys that raced us clean. Matt put together a good setup. Peter for racing us clean. Christian was side by side with him a bunch. It was great. A lot of fun this race. Thank you guys as well.
Yes. Thank you, Ray. And we will see you not only Wednesday for Rallycross, but we will see you Monday in Canada. And the man of the hour, Michael Janney, won the sprint race, tore through the field, took the points lead. And as we take the crossed flags halfway mark of the championship, Mr. Janney, trying to make it 2 championships in a row. Describe your race for us.
Well, first, thanks for having me. It's been what feels like forever because of the breaks. I mean, honestly. But that was crazy. I think that was definitely one of the highlight races so far because the racecraft, it's going to be really tight, very tight street circuit, but it was great. Minimal issues from my end. I was able to kind of work through them. I don't think, in all honesty, that I would have been able to get up here and gain a lead advantage enough so that I could hold off Christian if there wasn't a couple incidents in front of me, because I was fighting so hard to get past Munoz, and it was a pain. So honestly, I think Chalner had the best pace, because even coming from dead last on the grid after his connection problem, finishes 2nd place, and he's only like 4 seconds behind me. It's just incredible how good he is. So I think, if you want to look at it from a racing standpoint, that was phenomenal.
Talk us through how tricky it is to get this track right, because I was talking throughout the show. I've raced at Belle Isle, but I can't remember. I think it was on R Factor like 10 years ago. And I know how difficult that is. But of course, iRacing being laser scanned and walls on so close, obviously on both sides. Victor Vallee just messes up the stream and puts some form of terrible mascot on there. But anyways, describe for me the laser focus that's required to race at this track and race quick.
I can actually provide a first-hand example. So I think about 30 minutes in, I suddenly lost focus coming around one of the corners and almost lost the car. And I'm talking like I roaded this car. Like it was like rallycross coming around a hill. And it was shocking because the entire race I got into the groove, I was focused, I was there, and split second, if I hadn't corrected that, that's my race over. I mean, this track, in comparison for me to Long Beach that we ran last season, is so much harder. It's just, I think it's a combination of the bumps seem to be at the worst place possible in the mid corner, and then the wall just seems closer than it does on Long Beach. Like, even in the narrow sections of Long Beach, it doesn't feel as narrow as it gets here. And honestly, I'm shocked I only touched the wall once. And you hear the crunch and you're like, oh my god, did I just ruin my race? And then it worked out. But it's really difficult. I'm props to everybody here today doing this race, because this thing's hard.
And finally, as we wrap this up, you got any sponsors, partners, family, friends you'd like to thank for your result tonight?
Yeah, of course. So firstly, thanks to Fiercely Forward and Spark for giving me the ride this season. It's been great. Teammate Josh for all the help he gives in preparation, and my family watching, everybody who supports me, great stuff. And thanks for doing the broadcast up here, guys. It's great.
All right, my friend. We will, of course, hopefully see you to continue this points lead in 1 week in Canada at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Good run.
Thanks, man. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you, sir. As we're going to get some final thoughts from our crew, we're going to start for a Twitchland finale, update, whatever you'd want to say. Charley Daniels, all yours.
Well, guys, I just want to say I am so glad we're over this last off week and can't wait to see how the rest of this series plays out. And of course, for the audience out there, make sure you follow our Discord and tune in. We're adding a Thursday stream, which means starting this week, we'll be streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 days a week at varying times. So join that Discord to find out when we're live, and make sure you give us a follow and make sure you have those notifications turned on so you know when we do go live.
And Mike Berry?
Yeah, I just want to say what a race we had there. An incredible drive by all of our drivers. I also want to shout out Christian Chow, our hard charger, up 17 places. We're in for a very interesting next couple of weeks that I just cannot wait to see, and I can't wait for you guys to see too through our eyes, via us, I guess.
And Victor Vallee, I don't know. I know you don't like to speak sometimes, but I'm curious to know if you'd like to have a final thought. If not, you can tell me. I'll give you a second. Nope, he says nah in chat because he has to go wash the dishes. What a big boy adult. This race, and like I said, this track, I've watched, of course, IndyCar over the years, but the bumps, the wall so close, the lack of runoff, the close quarters, it gets better and better every single week. A couple programming notes for Nitro Circus Twitch, powered by the Automotive Sports Network for North American Simulated Auto Racing. Wednesday, the Sim Racer Coin NASA Rallycross Challenge presented by Nitro Circus. We go to round 7. iDrive Sim Training's Bark River Brawl. Words are hard. We're at Bark River International Raceway in Michigan for the first round of the Endurance Cup. Next Monday, for the Penguin RC Simulations NASA Sports Car Challenge, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix, June 14th. Both broadcasts will start 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here on Nitro Circus Twitch. And be sure to join the conversation, hashtag NASA on Nitro and hashtag ASNTV USA for all of you on ASN On Demand. From all of us here at Nitro Circus, North American Simulated Auto Racing, and the Automotive Sports Network, Charley Daniels, Victor Vallee, Ray Kingsbury, Brandon Lambert, Mike Berry. Who else do I got? Cody Erdman, Chad Irvine. I am Josh Mertz, and we hope to see you for the next couple of broadcasts for North American Simulated Auto Racing. Be sure to join the Discords. Their links will be in chat or in the description of the on-demand show. Either way, we'll see you in Bark River or in Montreal. But until then, so long, everyone.